to balance equations. Now you will need to know how to balance equations for both chemistry paper 1 and chemistry paper 2. The best thing about balancing equations is there's only one rule to remember. What we are trying to do when we balance an equation is to make sure that there is the same number of each atom on each side. That's what we're trying to make sure that we are doing here. Conservation of mass, mass of reactants equals mass of products. And there's only one rule when you balance an equation. You can only add a number at the start of something. Not in the middle, not at the bottom, just at the start. So if we look at this equation here, we've got sodium and chlorine making sodium chloride. That shouldn't have a 2 on. Sodium chloride is NaCl. Okay, sodium plus Cl2 makes NaCl. At the moment, we've got one sodium here, one here, but we've got 2 chlorines and 1 here. It's not balanced. First step, underneath the arrow, going from left to right, write a list of the things that you need to balance. Going from left to right, sodium and chlorine. Then we do a tally chart. On the left, we've got 1 sodium. On the right, 1 sodium. That's okay so far. 1 on each side. Let's do a tally chart for chlorine. Chlorine is 2. Chlorine here is 1. That's not balanced. The only thing I can do is add a number at the start. So the only thing I can do is add a number here, here, or here. I can't do anything else. So in order to have 2 chlorines here, I have to add a 2 here, which gives me 2 chlorines, and my chlorines balanced. But now I've got to go back and check my sodiums. This 2 gives me my 2 chlorines, but it also gives me my 2 sodiums now. It doesn't quite work because I've got 2 on this side, 1 on this side. I need 1 more sodium on this side. The only thing I can do is add a 2 at the beginning of sodium, like this. That now gives me 2 sodiums. Okay, so just to repeat the rules. When balancing an equation, underneath the arrow, write a list of the atoms that you need to balance. Do a tally chart from the left to the right, see that it works, add the numbers that you need to, go to the next element, do the same, but you must always go back and revisit what you've done, just in case you have to change that again. I'm going to press pause. Oh, no, I'm not going to press pause. You can press pause and have a go at balancing these equations here. When you've had a good go, press play and I will take you through the answers. Okay, let's go through the answers. Sodium plus water makes sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas. Let's go from the left to the right and underneath, let's write a list of the elements that we need to balance. On the left, we have 1 sodium. On the right, we have 1 sodium. So far, so good. That works. On the left, we have 2 hydrogens. On the right, we have 1 hydrogen here, but we have 2 here. We have 3. It's not going to quite give us what we need. There's 3 on this side, and there's 2 on this side. I just need 1 more over here. To give me my 1 more over here, I might do a bit of trial and error now. Okay, I'm going to try putting a 2 here. That gives me my 2 hydrogens here that I needed. And once I've got those 2 hydrogens here, this balances. But now I need to go back to my sodiums because now I've got 2 sodiums here. The only thing I can do now to balance this up is to put a 2 at the front of this sodium. Now my sodiums are balanced, so have my hydrogens. Need to go and check my oxygens now. On the left-hand side, I have 1 oxygen. On the right-hand side, I have 2 here. Problematic because I've got 2 on this side and 1 on this side. I need 1 more on this side. The only way I can get 1 more on this side is by putting a 2 in front of the water. That's brilliant because it's given me now my 2 oxygens, which is what I needed to balance these out. And that's great I now need to revisit my hydrogens because now I've got 4 hydrogens here. I've got 2 here and I've got 2 here. So that gives me the 4 that I needed here to balance out the 2 I've got here and the 2 I've got here. That is now a balanced equation. I'm going to quickly go through the second one in exactly the same way. Chlorine, potassium, bromine. Got 2 chlorines, 1 over here. I'm going to add a 2 to balance that up. That works. I've got potassium, 1. I've got 2 over there. I have to add a 2 there to give me 2 here. That balances up. My bromines, I've got 2 and 2. That works. Okay. Lithium and fluorine. This one's quite straightforward because with the lithium and the fluorine, I've got 1 lithium here. I've already got 2. I've already balanced this one. Sorry. So I would have had 1 lithium here and 1 lithium there. I've got 2 fluorines here, but 1 here. The only thing I can do here to make that 2 is to put the number 2 in front of the lithium fluoride, and that then is balanced. Last one, magnesium and oxygen. I've got magnesium and oxygen. Magnesium on this side, I've got 1, I've got 2 there. I added 2 there. That gives me my 2. Oxygen, I've got 2 there, 2 there. They balance. Well done if you got this right.